Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. The absolute which is aware even of being. For that the question of taking away or coming closer doesn't apply at all. But even for being itself, how to lose it? What can show up in this manifest play that can take us away from our being?
Nothing.
And therefore, actually, then, the notion of support or not support, or in service or out of service, doesn't really apply. You see? Because there's nothing that can not be in service to it. If nothing can appear in the field of consciousness, you see, which can take consciousness away from itself, then in a positive way, we can say everything is in service to this discovery. If that is the true longing that consciousness has, if that is the true will of consciousness, then everything that appears, it can use for its own introspection and contemplation. But if it is playing, and if it wants to play with the Leela more, then it could be the most contemplative cave with nothing to fool around with, and yet it'll find a way. You see? So it's never in the content of the experience itself. You see? Life is always in service in that way. And that is why we can say thank you to everything that appears. If it is not truly in service, then we would not say thank you to everything that appears. So try to push away your being. Like, don't be. Don't have the experience of consciousness, God, consciousness, being, whatever you call it. Who can do it? Are you not being now? Who's not being? That being belongs to whom? The being that is here, who's the owner of it? Is it not the same unlimited one? Is it not the same omnipresent one that we have been searching for? So hug your own being. And you don't have to physically do anything. I'm just gesturing. Hug your own being. And see that nothing can appear to shake this or take this away from you. So this is the being's embrace to itself. What can come now to shake this away? Who can take God away from God? Does anything have to change in the content of our experience? And if any of you are relatively new or you're trying to grasp at this being, don't grasp at all. Try to not be. Do the reverse. Don't be for a moment. See if you can do it. There's no holding, grasping needed. Just naturally, more intimate than your breath, you are. The recognition of God, the recognition of beingness is so simple. It's that simple that it cannot be done. You see? Because the minute you try to do it, it seems to escape. Just letting go, makes it so clear. But what you cannot do is try to fit this God into a box that you create, into a projection that you may have about it. It will not conform to your projections, neither will it dance to your projections. What I mean is, if you have an idea about what it should be, it will be nothing like that. Because you cannot have an idea about this. Now, if you have an idea also about what it must do for you, how it must help you, all of that, you can forget about it. Just being for the sake of being. It doesn't matter whether your relationship is going well or not. God is with you. God is you in a way. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank or whether you have a roof over your head or not. Because God is with you. It doesn't matter whether this body is healthy and strong or diseased and depleting. God is with you. And even the idea of finding freedom or not, becoming self-realized or not, doesn't matter. Because God is with you. It is not the most powerful force in the universe. It is beyond the universe itself. Even the universe is nothing but a plaything for your being. That is your magnificence. So the miracle is not really the discovering of this, because that is so simple. The true miracle is how we confuse ourselves with that which we are not. That is why it is Maya, the great magic. This being, which is ever present, some of us have spent years and maybe lifetimes searching for it. That which is always here. In fact, here is built on top of this. Is it? That we have searched for. That which we can never be. That we have posed as. And wearing that mask of the impossible, we have tried to find that which always is. But all that was needed was to let go of this mask, the impossible limitation of the ego. This being, what does it need? What is missing? What effort are you making to be? Are you trying to be? In fact, it is the trying to be which is the ego. It is trying to be something. What is holding up the sky? More natural than that is to be. All that we can refer to as God in our mind is just an aspect of this being itself. All the forms of God that we may worship are the very aspects of your very being. So invite anything that can shake this now. Don't run away from anything. See if you can be shaken. See if to be ever becomes effortful. Now, all you have to do is not fit God into your image. Don't try to make a mold in which God has to fit. Don't try to have an idea to which God has to conform. Don't even label your experience. Don't understand. Remain in this simplicity. Don't give my next question to the mind, but gently recognize that you are aware of even this being. Effortlessly, motionlessly, without any quality or attribute, you remain. Independent of all phenomena, all appearances, that Brahman, that Absolute, is this simple awareness. So that place which is not a place is where being takes birth. It is you who witnesses even this. You are aware that you exist, that you are. So let go of all worldly concerns. Bathe in your immaculate beingness. Let go of all worries about time and space. Let go of all narratives. Which past can you have? Which future can you go to? Every past is only you. Every future is all you. You have no story. You have no birth, no death. There's nothing that you have done or not done. All appears only within you. All disappears also only within you. Okay, thank you, Sumit, for instigating that. That was not the plan, but okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Since I'm watching satsangs for years now,
Yeah.
There's tendency to if something comes, if there's a situation, for example, I have troubles with my father or something, and there's this natural response. I get nervous, I get agitated, and then it happens in all situations now. And then immediately what comes is, okay, I apply spiritual solutions to the situations. And then I have the feeling, And it's such a conflict between what I naturally feel, what naturally comes up, and between what I've learned from satsangs.
Yes. I understand.
And and there's a feeling that it's so burdensome, such a conflict all the time.
Yeah.
And there's a feeling that I can go with either the two of of the positions.
I can speak a few things about this because I meet many in this kind of situation, spiritual seekers who have learned so much spirituality being in satsang, then try to apply spiritual knowledge to make their life better. So let me try to shine some light on this thing and why it doesn't seem to work a lot of times. And even if it does work, it seems to work only temporarily or provisionally. And then the whole cycle seems to repeat itself.
Yes.
I'm going to start with something that you said. You used a phrase called spiritual solution. So let's really look at that. Like the spiritual solution has to be the response to the spiritual problem, isn't it? So there is only one spiritual problem, you see, and that problem is a misidentification, or we can call it the Leela, you see, where that which we really are, because of the play or because of Maya or whatever we want to say, takes itself to be something that it is not. That which is unlimited, that which is so beyond time and space, takes itself to be objective, limited, body, mind, with birth and death, all of these attributes. So that is singular spiritual problem. And all confusion, all suffering is only a result of this problem. You see? Now what happens is that this idea that we have about ourselves, you see, then takes on ideas of spirituality and tries to make this idea better by being spiritual.
Yes.
So when usually we are looking at spiritual solutions, we are looking for a solution for the one which is not really true. You see?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we try to use it as a solution for that person. But that person is what spirituality is solving. That is the only thing it is solving. You see? So,
Okay. Yes.
you see what I'm saying? But
Yes.
when we try to find a spiritual way to make our life better, you see, then we are in one way or the other just reinforcing to ourselves that I am this limited body mind who has this linear narrative of life, you see, and these things are not as they should be, these things are as they should be, but all from the lens of an individual entity.
Okay. Yes.
The only
Yeah.
spiritual solution then is to just clarify what is it that I truly am.
Okay.
Not how I can make the story better, or not how I can prevent some things from coming in the world of appearances, not how to change my feelings, none of that. Because in all of those, we are taking ourselves to be the limited one.
Okay.
The
Yes.
the unlimited being which you were discovering when, as I was speaking earlier, does that have a problem with anything that appears?
Not at all.
Not
Not at all.
So it's only when we take ourselves to be the story character, and then that story character tries to apply, you see, the learned spirituality, the spiritual knowledge, which mostly then becomes conceptual. You see, it tries to apply the spiritual concepts to make the life or the story of the character better. That is not what it will do. In fact, it may make it even worse.
Yes. Yes.
It will create further contradiction.
Yes.
Like most non-spiritual ones in the world, if they have a headache or they have a fight with their father, they will say, oh, I just have a headache, or my father is so bad, I don't like him. And they'll just deal with it directly.
Yeah.
What happens with
Exactly.
spiritual ones? You see, one, they're feeling upset with the headache or their father or whatever, but they're also saying, but I'm spiritual, I shouldn't feel this way, I should be over this stuff by now. So they're dealing with even more baggage or garbage than the regular
Yes, that's
so-called
right.
normal human beings. You see? So we must uh, let go of trying to use spirituality to improve our life. I know it can sound very strange because all of us apparently came into spirituality to improve our life. But there comes a point where the light of your recognition becomes so strong that you see that this me that I took myself to be was just a narrative, was just a set of ideas. You see? Now, any attempt to try and use God to improve a set of ideas is very strange, isn't it? So, so, so the, when you don't remember, then you don't remember anyway, right? So whatever is happening. It's fine. But when you do remember, remember that the only suffering is confusion about what you are. The only problem
Yeah.
is confusion about what you are. Don't try to solve anything else, at least spiritually. In the worldly way, you may try to whatever you want is fine. You see? But use spirituality only to shine the light of self discovery on yourself. You see? Then you will find that the notion of problem and solution doesn't really exist for you. Just like in a playground, just like Disneyland, many events may come, many ups and downs may happen in a roller coaster. You see? But none of it is a problem. It's all part of the game, it's all part of the play. So, so if you don't identify with that which you are not, then there is no such thing as problem or solution.
Yeah.
So this is very useful because many of us who have now taken on a spiritual identity, then try to use the spirituality to make the life of the spiritual identity better. Uh, Anything that you hear in satsang, if it makes you feel guilty, unworthy, or anxious, just throw it away. You see? Just throw it away. It is not meant to create any of that. You see, firstly. Secondly, now for a few minutes with me, you do an exercise. Instead of trying to get it, try to lose it. You see? Don't try to get it. So what I'm telling you, you cannot lose. You see? Your being, you cannot lose. That which is aware of your being, you cannot lose. And that is all that you need to discover. So now, don't try to get it. Are you still being?
Yes.
That's it. That's all you will ever get in satsang. You see, don't go with the but because I know the mind will say but. You see, but. You see, now again, don't be. Can you do it?
No.
That's it. That being is the discovery. Are you aware of this being?
Yes.
That's it. That's it then. You see, nothing more than this. You see, now the only thing that will trouble you is if you try to use this discovery for the non-existent me. You say, what does this mean for me now? Am I free now? You see, all this, if you try to insert this simple discovery of being and that which is aware of being into your story, that is when it'll trouble you.
Yes. Yes, I see. I see. Yes.
You see? So remember my simple game. Whenever the mind says you have to get it, you haven't gotten it yet, you're almost there, you had that experience so many years ago, but it's lost, all that nonsense, just sit for a moment and say, I'm not trying to get it. Let me see if I can stop being. Don't be. You see? And your being is there. It's so apparent. That being has no boundary, it has no limitation, it has no birth, no death. Everything that you're looking for has gone, is your very being. So show me now how you cannot get it. The mind will say, it can't be that simple. I've tried this for so long. All this nonsense, objections will come. No? Like the lawyer for the ego, he'll come and say objection, objection for everything. But just simply check for yourself. Can you not be? Can you leave the awareness of this being? It is so natural, so natural. But for a moment, if we forget all that and we just keep it about what I'm saying, which is, can you stop being? Are you not aware? Who is aware of being? These very simple questions is all that the spiritual discovery is about. Everything else takes care of itself.
This is so beautiful. So beautiful, so helpful.
Very, very.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
So
so
thank you. Thank you. Bye, Father.
Bye, my love. Bye-bye. So we must not confuse the spiritual journey. What are we journeying for? What is the end point? Okay. And whatever end point the mind sets for us, you'll always be almost there. Could spend a million lives almost there. Remember right at the beginning of the journey, you felt you're almost there. Now it's been 20, 30, 40 years, you feel like you're almost there. There's no end to this game. But you can leave that entire construct. How can you not be? Whose being is this? Who's being here? Huh? Who's being? How could you be?
What I've experienced lately, what I've seen really is that there was very, very hard days like this last week. And a dark, very, very like I could see things that I've been sitting with during a long time just burping out, you know. I can see that it's based on separation. It's based on wanting to be with Guruji, wanting to be with Sangha, wanting to be where I've spent some time in Sahaja and wanting to be there. And also underneath there is some kind of fear in some place, you know. But just this, they're based on separation. So there's an attraction and a very big nourishment when there is a presence of such beings that are like just bearing fruits of what he's pointing. So there is still like, I'm not kind of fully finding it inside of myself, you know? And also realizing that it has to be found inside of myself, like it has to be here.
This is beautiful already. So these contemplations, what are you hoping to achieve with them?
There's a contentment that I'm hoping to achieve. Not a qualityless peace, you know? because I've experienced quality, full peace, but a true peace. Because I know there's the coming and going, and I can clearly see the strenuous energy of the restless mind in the body, you know, and discern that, and that maybe the wisdom is to see that I'm still here when that happens. But there's still like a wanting to kind of, or an expectation that I'm maybe not supposed to experience that, or just being my fullness, really, like,
Yes.
even if that is there, but still like not wanting it, you know, because I've seen also, especially being in higher company, I just seen it just vanishing and completely like, what am I speaking about? You know, what is this? And it does not exist, and also energetically it doesn't exist as well. So what is the truth, you know? So it's like,
Now,
is it possible, or am I just wanting something that maybe it is not it, that this vanishes?
yes. So just to expand on that, so suppose I have 100 grams of attribute-less peace. You see, the only attribute is that it's 100 grams. Who would we give it to?
What does it, like, attribute-less? What do you mean with that?
Whatever you said,
Huh?
quality-less peace, is that what you meant?
Uh-huh.
So
Yes.
suppose I have it, right? And now I'm looking for someone to present it to. Who should I give it to?
The one that wants it somehow, that's asking for it.
Yes, but the one with quality, with attributes, cannot hold on to anything which is quality-less. You see?
Yeah.
So the one that wants it has a quality of limitation, has a quality of desire, has a quality of wanting itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that one
Yeah.
cannot get it.
Yeah. I can see that. Like, I've been seeing that also, like that clearly that it's just speaking out of my mouth, like also like, wow, that's so, like, just happy when it's here, and
Yes. Yes.
I can see that I'm not that.
Yes. And that which is truly that which is truly the self or the being, all that is in service to that being must already be with it, isn't it? Can that which is in service to God or being, can that be taken away, or can God ask for it?
It feels like somehow it cannot be taken away, and
So only the one that cannot have it can ask for it. And the one that it comes from, with the very source of it, is always here. So what if I told you that it is the wanting itself which gets in the way? And without the wanting, all that you want is already here. You want to try this as a live experiment?
mm-hmm.
Yes. So, like I've been saying, I don't know when you joined, but don't be for a moment. Try your best to not be, and tell me when you succeed. And don't give it to the mind, because the mind will obviously say, no, that can't happen. You see, just actually with the innocence of a child, try not to be.
It right now it's not like this, but I can, maybe the feeling of not being is when sleep takes over, or when a foggy mind is here.
Yeah, so forget all that. Forget all the projections of past and future, mind, everything. Just right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just right now. Don't give it to the intellect at all.
It doesn't, like, I can't try not to be. I can see what I believe prevents me from being.
Yes.
And that is seeing what I believe prevents me from being.
Yes. So that aspect of your being where there is belief and disbelief, don't bother with that aspect of your being. Where is that aspect contained? Can you share a bit about that? I can repeat a bit slowly. So there's an aspect of your being which has the capacity to believe, to judge, to not believe, to let go. So let's not worry about that for a moment. What else is there to you? What else is there to you?
Like there's nothing that is engaging in anything.
Yes.
Nothing that is engaging, you know.
Okay, let's try this way. So there's an aspect of your being where all perceptions are perceived. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and that includes that which we call object. It includes thoughts. It includes emotion, sensation, everything. Now, that space in which all of this is there, that space in which all of this is there, is that outside of you?
It's like there's no answer.
Yes.
It's not outside of me.
Yes.
It's like I know that it's not outside of me.
Yes. And when we try to look for it, just look for a boundary which would separate the inside from the outside, and try to see if body sensations create a boundary, if any other perception creates a boundary, or is your experience of beingness the same on either side of the sensation, and therefore it is not binding you. If you come across something which truly acts as a boundary, you can call that out. Is there anywhere where you are less present compared to somewhere else?
I'm more like just settling, in than reflecting.
That's fine. That's fine. Whatever is happening organically is fine. And whatever is happening, who is aware of it? Who is witnessing the play of perception?
I don't have an answer. Like I don't feel
And yet,
there is an answer.
and
It's
yet you are
just
able to report. No? You are able to say, I see this. Okay, we can even make it simpler. If you can see me on the screen, uh, are you aware of the perception of this hand?
yeah.
So that you that is aware of this perception, what does that look like?
It doesn't.
What quality does it have?
Yes, maybe there's an expectation that I have to answer something, and
There's no such requirement. No such requirement. In fact, whatever you answer will be meaningless anyway. What's more important
yeah.
is the recognition. You see? So, and just all it needs is a little simplicity, because you're saying it's so natural, isn't it? I am aware of the perception of your hand. It is I. But this I itself, I don't have a basis. I don't have a phenomenal basis for calling it I. Can we agree there? Can we contemplate this for a moment? I am aware. It's so obvious, it's so natural that I am aware, you see, of all these perceptions. You see, and yet This I that is aware, I cannot perceive. And yet, so naturally, all of us call it I. Because if I was to say to you, no, no, it's not you that is aware, it's somebody else, you would say, no, no, Ananta, what are you saying? So clearly, I am aware of the perception. But this I that is aware is beyond all perception. No quality applies to it.
Mm-hmm.
On what basis do we call it I? See, only on an intuitive basis. Only in our heart it is so clear, see, that this is what I am. But to the mind, this is all nonsense because it has no way to grasp that which is beyond phenomena.
I'm aware that there's like nothing that is, because you said put aside whatever is blocking this or creating any sense of separation, and it's just arising from time to time. Maybe this one that like a contraction
Okay.
in my chest or whatever, or very subtle,
May I suggest one thing? May I suggest that
which is the mind seeker.
I'm going to suggest something to you, and it has to just be for a few moments, and then you can go back to whatever you like. Just for a few moments, forget about everything that you learned after becoming spiritual. Yes? Is that a deal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, without any of these spiritual constructs that you learned in spirituality, are you aware of the perception of the hand?
Yeah.
This you, can that be perceived?
No, but I still have a self-image present
Yes, but
somewhere.
so if there's a self-image, then all images must be perceived, isn't it? So
Yeah.
there must be an awareness even of that perception.
Yeah.
Yes. So this awareness itself, can you make a painting out of that? What color would
No.
you put? What shape would you put?
No, I can't. It can
Remember,
sprout.
nobody.
A painting can sprout out of it, like
Yes,
some kind of
yeah,
feeling, whatever, but
yeah.
I cannot.
Yes. Then on what basis do you call it you or I?
No basis, like
Exactly.
not in a logic way, I cannot.
Exactly. So it's not a mental basis, it's not a perceptual basis, you see, and yet it is so naturally I, the self. You see, and in
Yeah.
scriptures it has told us, the scriptures have told us that the self is beyond all qualities, beyond all perceivable perceptions, and cannot be captured by any concept or thought. You see? And so simply we come to the recognition of it. Don't try to make any meaning out of anything.
Yeah. I can see it, like it feels like I can see it, but
Yeah,
that it's seen also from time to time. It's obvious,
yeah.
but there's still, I'm living in a timeline, I'm still not living in timelessness.
But you don't know that. You're just presuming that. Because there is
Yeah.
a repository of seemingly past imagery, but we can't confirm that it really happened. Just like the dream could have started just now, but if somebody says, "What is your name?" you may still say Puja. Who gave you the name? Oh, Guruji. You see, but the dream just started. So the memory is not a valid repository to be able to say this really happened. You see, what can we truly say? Where is the past?
nothing. It doesn't exist. So it's,
It doesn't exist.
yeah.
In fact, you cannot live in time if you tried, because you can never objectify yourself that much. Only when you can make the claim of living in time with the narratives that you share, but you can never actually live there. Try to be an object in time. How would you be? Insert your being into time. You see? Just like this. Like I can put this in time, here it was here now, then in the future it came here. Apparently, we all have to speculate like that. You see, can you do that with your being? In fact,
No.
isn't it the other way around, where time is actually the plaything of your being? And it plays attention, in the play of attention, we somehow create a narrative of time. Just like in reading a comic book, if you read it like this, like this, like this, the frames like that, you see, it creates a narrative like that. And time seems to have flown like this way. But if you're reading a Japanese comic book, you're going the other way and it creates a narrative like that.
Mm.
You see? It's consciousness playing with attention, isn't it?
And is there is it of any value to like to put the attention on myself?
Your attention actually can't go to yourself, because attention can only go to that which is perceivable. Even if it is complete dark, empty space, it is still perceivable, isn't it? But that which is aware of even dark, empty space, attention cannot go there. Sometimes we use that in satsang, we may say something like this, but that is just like a tool to withdraw attention from other distractions for a moment and maybe rest it in the being. Or when we ask a question like, what is aware even of being? It may seem like attention comes to a sort of darkness or void or emptiness. You see? But that is not the emptiness that we are speaking of. The emptiness that we are speaking of is empty even of the quality of emptiness. So awareness is not like a dark, empty room, you see, because even that is a perception. So attention can bring us quality, it can bring us attributes. But that which is beyond quality and attributes, attention cannot go there. Try to keep your attention on the eye that is aware of all perceptions like we were doing earlier. Can you bring your attention to that? Where will you keep it? Whatever you perceive at that point, ask yourself, who is aware of that? Is that captured in the attention? So neither with attention nor with concept can we come to self-recognition. It is just like that. It's just intuitive. Where is this awareness? What is its location? Or more directly, where are you? What is your location? Where are you awareing from? Just sitting there being aware. Where is that? Just chilling, being aware as if you have no other work to do. Where are you? Where are you?
Mm-hmm.
There is no where. There is no where for you. There is no when for you. And there's definitely no why for you. The only worthwhile question worth asking is who? Who am I? Looks like you found some quality-less peace there.
Yeah. I feel like the thing like I can see now is that there's a habit to maybe recapture the words you've spoken, and they kind of arise in this, and maybe that's a trick.
Yes. To try
or
and,
is a reminder, I don't know.
to try and convert the pure insight into an understanding is a primitive trick of the mind. So don't try to understand it in any concept.
I can't, like, I can't understand how can pure being be angry.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything is allowed to come and go, but it itself does not take on any of those positions in reality.
I also don't want to be anyone that has to do it by itself, you know?
Who, who,
Um,
who are you
like
representing?
even
Who are you
because
representing?
I see myself just sitting by myself and rarely like speaking out, like, or,
Yes,
and that's also a trick.
yes. But uh, are you representing yourself as the body mind, or what are you representing yourself as?
That would be as the body mind, but I'm not. So it's,
There are so many body minds to pick from on this Zoom call. All are just objects of your perception. You don't have to limit yourself to just one.
yeah.
Very good, very good.
Yeah. Thank you for
Thank you,
for
Hello.
Mala.
Hello. I wanted to thank you because from satsang to satsang, the recognition is really experienced.
Very good.
It's not anymore my mind coming in and saying, are you sure? Is it real? Is it that? It's really pure and stable and experienced. But before you said the unreal me, and then it popped up, this unreal me, it's not experience, it is like that because it's written, it's a concept, but yes, I don't experience that.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's just a story, just a narrative.
Yes.
And because there has been belief in the past in the narrative, so the narrative needs to have a central character. You see, and the central character is what we've called me. But now, as the narrative is falling away, and what you're recognizing is yourself to be that which is so beyond the linear narrative or the story, then all of this me has no legs to stand on. No legs to stand on because it's never, like you said, it's never a tangible experience anyway.
That's right. No legs to stand on, but not experienced. It's still there.
The me is still there.
Yes. Can it be or some?
Let's look together.
Yes.
Together. Can you show me where it is?
No.
No.
Or maybe yes, body or this.
The body is not the me because the body doesn't want freedom. You see, the body is not having trouble in relationship. The body doesn't even have trouble with body. The body doesn't say, I want healthier body. You see, the body is quite an innocent instrument, like this cup.
Yeah.
You see?
Yes. Yes.
So the body cannot be me. And if you really took yourself to be just the body, then why would you come to satsang?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Exactly. You would not come to satsang because there's nothing body in satsang.
Yeah.
So,
but what is the unreal me then? What is the unreal me?
The unreal me is just like if you were to sit and start thinking about one woman who's sitting on the banks of the Ganga and she's had a tough life, you see, and more thoughts that you put into this narrative, the more true that character sitting on the banks of the Ganga will seem. So in the same way, we fed an idea about ourselves with all these thoughts and ideas about what is good, what I like, what I don't like, what do I really want, all of these things. So it feels like there's a real character there. You see? So
No, that is not there anymore. This has gone. This has gone.
Very good. And that's why it's unreal.
Aha.
It's not real. Only the unreal can be gone. No? The real cannot come and go.
Yes.
So very good. I like the innocence. I like this integrity. Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Oh, very good. Yes, as long as you're not buying into any interpretation of that, you see, then consciousness is dealing with it in its own beautiful way. The minute we interpret to mean something, you see, then it inadvertently inserts this play of personhood into that. Because the meaning is always limited compared to what it is in actuality, and limitation implies ego. You see what I'm saying? So sensation, allow it to remain in pure perception. Nothing is too big for consciousness to deal with. The minute we say it is a lot, for example, then we have made ourselves tinier than what we are. Isn't it? How many waves are a lot for the ocean? But how many waves are a lot for a single wave? You see? Just a few is a lot for a single wave. You see? So if we believe a boundary about ourselves, you see? And sometimes the notion itself contains the boundary line, isn't it? So if the notion is, oh, that's a lot of sensation, you see? So then in that agreement that that is a lot, we are making ourselves into a little bit. But empty of that interpretation, what is your size? What can overwhelm you in your reality? How many kilograms of sensation is a lot? You have pounds. How many pounds? I'm not asking for any sort of denial or looking away from what is appearing. I'm just asking for a full openness to whatever is appearing. And I can guarantee it that in the full openness, it is the magnificence of your being which is meeting whatever is being created within itself. And for the magnificent being, no matter what it is never too much. And this you're recognizing. You're recognizing this. Because although sometimes the mouth may say, there's so much of this and whatever, but actually in your heart you're seeing it. Just playing out.
Namaste, Father.
Namaste, my dear. Namaste.
Actually, last time you said just on the guidance, like just arms up and loosen everything. And but I was so stick to that. It didn't happen immediately. It took a lot of time. But just I kept in this thing inside. Yes, this is what I need to do. But it was not happening. It happened after a long time, naturally. Then for last 2-3 days, what happened that naturally there was a natural alertness, knowingness, awareness, everything.
Yeah.
Body was doing and outside everything was happening naturally. But still there was a alertness. Yeah. That I could make it out in a particular incident. Yes, there is a alertness. Something happened. I was like outside. I was very in a loose manner, not very alert, but still instantly that moment I could catch that. Then there was a confirmation, whatever is happening, there is natural awareness.
Yes.
But then after 2-3 days, what happened? At that moment, it just shifted. And at that moment when it shifted, even I was aware that yes, it is shifted in that particular moment only. But when shifted and then fear entered, oh, not again. Again, emotional reactions will come, outbursts will come. And then fear slowly, steadily, I was watching, it was taking overpower me. And no matter what I tried to like just to be aware, not give in to that, but I just give in to that after 2 3 days. And then again, the same story happened, and even it was happening, and I was aware internally ki, look, again you have involved with the false self and you did the same thing. But it was like a compulsive habit, like action is going on. It was not in my control. I was just doing that. No, I was aware, but still I was doing that.
Yes, yeah.
But what happens after that? I feel so guilty. I feel so bad. Again, I did this. Again, I did this. Then all the criticism, everything just starts. And then question came, ki, actually that awareness was not true. It was attention based. That is why you shifted.
Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you. Thank you for reporting this. And I can see how much weight it has for you. So just know that I'm always with you. I'm always with you, firstly, and don't have to pressurize yourself so much. Uh, I'm not leaving you. Okay, we will see through this together. Don't worry. So, firstly, just allow yourself to feel reassured about that. That whatever is your highest desire in your heart, God, the self, it is going to be found. It is going to be realized. Don't worry. Yeah. So now in that reassurance, everything else can be a bit lighter, smoother. Don't have to uh, make it like, oh, I did that. I shouldn't have done this. You see, that was not real awareness. So I'll give you some tips today also. But my throat is feeling a bit tired, so we may not be able to speak for long. But I'm always there. I'm always there with you. And so what I want to tell you is that, and you noticed also that actually even when attention is going to fear, attention is going to thought, even when you're believing something, you're taking yourself to be the limited identity, that which is aware of all of this play of perceptions, that remained untouched, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now, this awareness is what you truly are, and that remains untouched. See? There is no other you in reality. You see? All other you is just an idea, is just notional.
Okay.
So whatever is appearing and disappearing in the life of Poonam, that doesn't touch awareness in any real way. You see? Now, but if you want to make Poonam's life into a true representative of awareness, that will start becoming problematic.
Oh,
You see?
yes.
Why should Poonam's life be representative of awareness? No life can actually represent awareness. So
This is what.
as you make it empty of that expectation, ये अभी ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, अभी सिर्फ ऐसा होना चाहिए, then Poonam can be the play of the body mind that we call Poonam in the light of consciousness can just happen naturally. No? So sometimes some anger is coming, sometimes some fear is coming. It's okay. It's all the sugar and spice of life.
Yeah. But then ego identities comes up very strongly.
Yes, but the ego identity is already there when we're trying to
Yeah.
control our life in that way.
Right.
See? So it only seems to get amplified. But the subtext is already the ego identity, which is saying, no, now in this life, this should happen only like this.
Yeah.
You see? That is not surrender. That although we want to find the highest, when we try to squeeze that into this body-mind expression, then that is not a true surrender. True surrender is Tvam karta, tvam bhokta. You are the doer, you are the experiencer. As I joke with some of the Sangha here, sometimes, menu ki. Huh? How is it your problem? So that is surrender. So surrender is to leave everything to consciousness. You are the doer, you are the experiencer. To recognition is to realize that you are that awareness which remains untouched by any of this play. So in either way, it is none of your business actually.
True.
Is it? But if you make it your business, then that is the ego.
Actually, indirectly, I was controlling actually.
Correct. So anytime we want to take control of the narrative, the story, only this should happen, this should not happen, you see, then that we don't
Yeah.
realize that the spiritual aspect or the spiritual avatar of the ego is one of the most oppressive egos out there. Yes. Because it has many do's and don'ts and rights and wrongs and shoulds and shoulds.
Yeah.
You see? So let go of that. Just let go of that. Allow your life to be run by consciousness as consciousness. You see? Whatever it is doing, it is fine. Because otherwise, what it can, without realizing, we want to make this body mind into an enlightened one. The body mind can never be the enlightened one.
Oh.
Isn't it?
True.
So to give it that freedom, to give the world full freedom, give this body mind full freedom, because include it in the world, because it is an appearance as the rest of the world. You see, so don't impose some special rules on this particular appearance that now you have to represent only truth or something like that. No expression can live up to that. You see, like Ananta can't express truth. I cannot speak the truth. I try to speak the truth, but the truth cannot be spoken. Then how will we become? You see, that way. So just allow this body to be the instrument of the light of consciousness, of the Sadguru's presence. And whatever word it puts in this mouth to speak, like Guruji puts the words in this mouth, these words come out. You see, same way, allow whatever is put there by the Master's grace to come out. But don't judge it.
Okay.
It's a very simple and easy way of life.
Yeah.
Very, very natural. With no judgments, no spiritual benchmarks. It should be like this only. It should not be like that. Just empty. Just open and empty with all of that. Open and empty doesn't mean that the expression is only always, I'm so open and empty. You see, it's like that. The expression could be in a work meeting. It could be in an argument with the partner. It could be all that could be happening. But inwardly, you're open and empty.
Yeah.
You see? And even if inwardly you are not open and empty, surrender that to the Guru. Surrender that to the Sadguru's grace. Because who can take care of it better? You or the Sadguru?
Of course. Sir.
Exactly. So you don't take any pressure about this.
Right. But that's my issue actually mainly because I take control unknowingly and then start doing the same thing.
Yes. And that is how the spiritual ego is built actually. We don't realize it, but that is spiritual ego.
Yeah.
Now I have to always remain like this. Now I have to. And we don't realize, but it's full of specialness, no? And what's so
Very.
special about me that I should always remain like this? So we just surrender that and say, whichever way God keeps me is fine. The mind will come up with a lot of objections. But
Yeah.
this, what about that? Just leave it all. Surrender all those objections also to Sadguru's grace.
Yes.
But you will notice that it will expose all your spiritual desires. In the butt, it will expose all the spiritual desires. Will I truly become free like this? You see? Or what if I just go the wrong way and I forget about spirituality if I just surrender? You see? So it's
Yeah, this fear
the
comes.
tendency is getting more and more exposed with the buds. Just let go. Give full freedom to the world, to the body, mind, everything. Leave it fully free. Nothing.
That's not coming actually. Something is holding on.
You give that something to me. That something will only propose ideas to you.
Right.
Let go of its ideas. It has no other power except to propose ideas, to propose notions to you, to propose desire to you, to propose specialness to you, to propose even spirituality to you.
Yeah.
But now you have to go beyond even spirituality.
True.
It's scary. It's scary to the mind because it is focused on spirituality for so long. To feel like, but that's the core of my life. Without my spiritual journey, what am I?
No, it's beautiful. I know this thing because I tasted that freedom.
Yeah.
But the problem is that still, despite knowing the fact, I am still holding on to. Why I'm holding, that's the main issue for me.
Surrender the main idea that you end up buying.
Okay.
What is the main idea? Expose it.
Sometimes I feel I'm not honest actually. I'm just doing the drama outside. Yes, I want to see the truth. I want to realize the truth. But actually, somewhere I'm tempted to society's pleasures and all the body mind pleasures. I just want to, like, first I will get this and then I will come to this.
Yeah. So this
These things.
idea of unworthiness. This is the idea of
Yeah,
unworthiness.
exactly. This is it.
Very, very prevalent in spiritual seekers. So whether you're attracted to whatever is whose problem, is it? Leave it. You did not create that. You have nothing to do with it. Just leave it. Don't worry. Anybody who's attracted to anything else cannot come to a second satsang which is so direct. First satsang, somebody may have pulled you in, some friend may have said, come, this is good. You see, but after hearing first satsang, to come back for second satsang, I know in your heart you want the truth. So you don't have to convince yourself. I am there with you. Don't judge yourself in any way. Don't judge yourself in any way. Just return to the innocence of a child.
That's what I'm missing actually.
When my daughter was very little, no? I don't know where it came from, but she used to love Amul butter. You know? She used to love Amul butter. So whose fault is it? Is it her fault? But she was a 1-year-old. No? So God has put it there. God took care of it. It's okay. Don't have to worry.
What is most apparent, I think. Or I don't know if it's what is most apparent now. And when I read that, it sort of, there's a clearing, like a clearing, but like an empty, putting it into words, an empty screen, and like trying to sort of put it into words. Yesterday I was just thinking it's like, and I think this is sort of ruining the whole thing, but trying to put it into words, just like existence itself, like just existence, and but not no I exist, just existence. And it's just like kind of wanting to hold on to that and grasp onto that and to just
actually
be with that instead of all the fear. And I don't know if that's maybe that, I mean that's just trying to hold on to something, and
actually
it's
nothing,
visible.
Sorry, just pause there before I forget. There is nothing wrong with I exist. You see? because it is
Yeah.
only the true you that exists. The
Yeah.
ego or the idea of you never exists. You see?
I'm still really pulled into the, as soon as you say the word I, it's
Yeah.
going to personal and it's going to the fear.
Yeah.
So it seems such a relief to just say existence and no putting the I on it. I don't know if
Then
that's okay.
that's
to do,
fine for the moment.
yeah.
It's completely fine
For now.
because we have used the term I, which Guruji calls the chameleon eye. The
Yeah.
chameleon eye is so broad that we use it for our ego, we use it for our attention, we use it for our being, we also use it for ourselves as awareness. So, but because we have seemingly used it so much for our identity, then anytime it shows up, it seems to carry the baggage of identity. So for a while, it's okay to not use it. It's fine.
Okay, good. Okay. Okay, I somehow needed permission
Yeah.
since a week is going by, I just somehow needed that okay. Okay, thank you so much.
So,
And thank you so much. And this was an amazing satsang. I wish I could take it with me.
You
Take it with me.
will.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
More
Thank you.
one. Like you will carry it, of course, with you in your heart, but also we have recordings and things. So
Yes.
it's with
Yeah.
you. With you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for being in satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai.
Sadhguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Guru Kripa Kevalam.